the name of the stream adjusted here. Oh man, the new interface is like kind of wonky. Like I can't, even though, oh, interesting. There we go, okay. Because there's like a 2-minute delay, it wouldn't let me like show the thing to get in here to change the name. So this is going to be, who are we playing against? I was just looking at this. JaMiT, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know how to rename the stream as a mod. Oh wait, mod view? Mod view. That seems like a thing. Dashboard.
Exclamation point title.
Ah, that would also do it. Title. We want this to be ATL. JaMiT Gaming. All right, so we should have the correct title here. And it looks like we're climbing into the game. I'll go ahead and post this in here. Yellow versus green. Stream adjust. Oh, there we go. Okay, we just went live. Let me go ahead and mute that. All right. Is there a way to change it to whatever your friendly colors are?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, unfortunately. All right.
I mean, it's not like it's a ZVZ, so it could be worse.
That's true. It's like, oh, who's Lings, who's Banes? I don't. Okay. We are climbing into the first game of this Alpha Team League. I am F equals MD, and I am joined today by Xenodactyl, who is going to be What's that?
For a second time.
For the second time today, yeah, we were doing some casting this morning. And you're going to be coming in and out, because I believe you have one of these matches, right?
Yeah, I play the next.
Nice. All right, well, let's go ahead and introduce our players here. You want to take it away?
All right, spawning in the bottom left as the yellow Zerg. For JaMiT, it is Beowulf.
And in the top right, representing Alpha X, it is our Terran hero, Dust. We'll follow this Overlord a little bit here while I hop on over and look at this. So this is going to be a best of 5.
Mm-hmm.
First map here is on Zen, and then we have Nightshade, or Sim, Nightshade, Purity, and then Golden Law.
Yep. Yeah, it's I think this particular match between these two players is going to be pretty standard. I haven't really seen either of them cheese ever.
Okay.
Not that I've seen a ton of Beowulf, but
in the times that they have come across.
Yeah.
Past. You ever look at like SCV's feet? Like I thought they were like rolling, but like if you look, he's got like little claw toe things, like the old SCVs from Brood War.
Yeah, I think it's the Brood War skin.
Yeah. But I'm just like looking at it. He's got little claw feet. Anyway, just filling time here while the players do their standard openings. Of course, the hatchery is already down. We'll see if this SCV tries to block the third. We do have a Reaper coming out, so oftentimes we'll see that SCV and Reaper try to deny the third base. And sure enough, SCV is making his way over.
Yeah.
As standard as it gets. Oh, okay. Zerg player, realizing the SCV is going to do that, opts for the other third base here. Now, what do you think about this third location?
On this map, I feel like it's a little awkward. It's kind of exposed, and like I can see potentially this obstruction. I don't know what you call this thing. Being good enough for tanks. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Like the mineral things?
Yeah, the mineral and the thing next to it.
Yeah, the walls and the minerals, whatever.
Yeah, there we go. Unlike words, English hard. Nah.
The terrain, we'll call it.
Right. On the plus side, it's forward, so his creep should be better on that right-hand forward lane. I think on, say, a map like Nightshade, I wouldn't mind it as much. Even though the rocks are there, it's like, I don't know. It just feels so awkward getting from this ramp over to this third.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially with like the mineral patches here, I think it kind of really throttles the Zerg player's ability to just like run between their bases. So we'll have to see if that comes into play in this game. We'd have a very standard kind of 1-1-1 opening here. Tech lab finished, and actually, are we gonna see the starport land on the tech lab?
I guess so.
Ooh, okay.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna take care of the dog.
Of course. So we do see Cloak coming out now. It's interesting that he decided to go for this sort of a juggle here. Oh, okay. So this is gonna be a delayed Banshee, right? He starts up a Viking immediately. Hellions and Reapers trying to go in here. They do kill off one drone, but not too much. You know, the queens have to waddle down here. Finally finding the creep. Should be able to shoo this stuff away without losing anything else. And that's exactly what we see. So after this Viking, though, I think the Viking might push out the Overlords here and here. And then we should see the Banshee come up next. Yeah, there it is. So Cloak is about halfway done. So that means when this Banshee gets out, we will see it able to cloak immediately if it chooses to do so. Obviously, it's not going to cloak while it's flying across the map, but as soon as it gets to the base, it can do so. Layer is coming down, so there will be mobile detection for the Zerg. Probably about the time that the Banshee finishes and gets to the side of the map.
Lings are nibbling away at this wall, but there are Hellions behind it, so not gonna get anything actually killed, but annoying.
Yeah. This SCV is fairly scared, though. You know, he was building on the outside when the Lings showed up, and they were clawing and biting at his hind end for a moment. I really like...
He's advancing well, so I think holding this third will be fairly easy now that we see Dust is not doing any like 2-base push.
Yeah.
He's just doing this harass, and that also means the fourth will be more secure.
Yeah, now we do have spores in every mineral line, so this Banshee shouldn't be able to get much economic damage done. And actually with all these queens, he has to be very careful not to throw this Banshee away. Currently we don't have any Overseers yet, and we have Hydras on the way from Beowulf.
Yeah, the Lingbane Hydra is slightly retro right now, but it's always been central since, I don't know, Latvia era.
Oh, sorry about that, friends. I really do like the Hellions and the Reaper just kind of like hiding in here. You know, if the Lings try to run by, they're just going to get like stuck and roasted. So it's, I think, a very clever placement. This Viking actually still on the prowl. It's going to be his third Overlord kill here, forcing all of the Overlords back into the main. So it does mean that most of the vision for the Zerg player is going to be from these creep tumors and then any spotterlings that he has out on the map.
And to be fair, the creep is pretty good.
Yes, yes.
Vision
the creep
wise.
spread is quite nice here.
I guess technically there is a drop path into the main along this bottom edge that he can't see. But I don't think that will come into play
Well,
too much.
at this point, I would really like to see Beowulf, like, kind of, he's got all these tumors kind of spread left and right. Of course, we are rooting for the Terran player here. This is the Alpha X stream, but we'll try to remain somewhat impartial. I think that would be really strong for the Zerg players to kind of, you know, instead of having like 10 creep tumors all in the same spot, start to fork it.
3 Hellbats and 16 or so Marines are going to start clearing some creep on this side. There's a handful of Blings that run in, but now the Banes are here and Dust is going to have to retreat.
I think Dust is okay with that, right?
Yeah.
Like, he traded, you know, how many, you know, well, okay, it was only 4 Banes. For some reason, I thought it was like 6 for the 3 Hellbats. Still okay, much better than having those Banes connect with the bio.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oof.
Great connections for the Zerg player here. Now this Banshee, still pretty red.
Oh, okay. Well, you know that blind spot we mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
Well, there's a double medevac drop unloading in the main.
Yep.
And it doesn't seem Beowulf is... Okay, he's reacting now.
Yeah, he does, quote, see it. It's going to stim and immediately start running forward. But all of the Banes are very much out of position. And I'd really like for him to get on top of the... I would like Dust to get on top of the drones. He kills a fair number of Lings before getting out, but that didn't do the economic damage that I think he was looking for.
Sure.
Spore here is going to help kind of deter any future things like that. And it would have been really great to see immediately after hitting that, hopping over to the 3rd base. But we do have Dust picking up and fighting at the 5th. So, good multitasking there. I like this, trading the Marines one at a time for Banes. And here he goes, on into that 3rd base. Gonna pick up and boost away. If those things had been done at the same time, I think it could have been amazing damage. But of course, that is really hard to coordinate.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason that it's hard to coordinate is, you know, it also makes it hard to defend. So, or I guess it puts the onus on both players to multitask.
With the Spore and Hydra at the top of this, I think Dust is not going to focus on the drop too much more. Oh, as I say that, he's swinging it around so that it bypasses that. And his main force is setting up for a kind of unusual direction of a push.
Yeah, okay, so we have the drop in the main, and it looks like Beowulf trying to decide if he wants to go for the attack or if he wants to come home and defend. The Marines in the main definitely pulling stuff home, but he's taking down this 4th base. And with the siege tank setting up, I think it's going to be very difficult for Beowulf to hold on to this 5th base. He does need to pull these Marines back. Oh no! The Marines getting massacred by the Banelings. They were a little bit too far away from the siege tanks, but now he's able to regroup everything, and the Marines in the main are still doing work, right? Finally getting picked off, but they killed all of the drones in the main. And at this point, he's going to go ahead and stim forward into the 4th base. Siege tanks slowly moving forward. Oh no, oh no. Oh, the Banes just destroying all of the bio. I think this was looking good for Dust, but his siege tanks being a little bit slow to join the fight here. Some units still rallied across the map. They are certainly going to go to their death, and this is now starting to look pretty grim for our Terran hero.
Yeah, he had a really good start to that push.
Yeah.
And then I think his army got disjointed a little bit by the kind of wonky Z of a rally.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. You know, they're kind of like walking through the middle of the map. And I think that really, though, yeah, having those siege tanks just a little bit lagging to catch up was a pretty big problem. Now, we do have some Liberators here in the fight as well. Now, Hydras can shoot up and can kill the Libs. Ooh, and this Liberator going to not be in a good spot. It's going to certainly die to this one Queen, I think. Okay. Yeah, so it does go down. All of the bio has fallen here, and these tanks... Oh, and the reinforcements getting cut off as well. Liberator in the main does
really
fall.
weird to engage.
Yeah.
I think he just doesn't have enough bios to support these tanks anymore. And he's going to lose those as well. Uh-oh.
Yeah. I mean, Hydras are quite slow off creep. I think this fourth base for Dust is definitely going to have to lift off. I don't think the Planetary is going to finish. I don't know if it's actually even going to make it away. I think it's probably just going to die
The
here.
Hydra comes too high. Bringing some tanks over. Save what he can. But really just shaving off Lings and maybe gets a Hydra or two.
And behind this push, our Zerg player is taking a fifth base down here at the bottom off center, as well as retaking the base up here. I apologize, my screen is jumping around so much. Yeah, I am quite scared for Dust at the moment. He's trying to do another push here, but he really has to make sure that his bio just doesn't get melted. The Baneling count is pretty low. Go ahead.
He does have 3-3, so like, I guess in theory his bio would be stronger now, but what
But the
bio
Zerg
does
player
that?
has 3-2 at the same time.
Yeah.
So they're even on upgrades. With this wall going down, I think the Lings have gotten in. I mean, Dust might be able to get a flank here and kill some of these units, but he's already lost a lot of workers. And it's really going to come down to, can he just do a counterattack right now and go kill the Zerg player? I mean, he's down.
Okay.
He cleans
cleaned
up
up
that
at
army.
least. But he needs to get a lot of work done now.
Yeah, and I mean, now the Zerg player is up to Ultralisks. The Ultralisks have the movement speed upgrade. They don't, and the hardened shields. They've got all of the things that they want. We've got Vipers in the mix here as well. The blinding clouds are going to be a huge thing in this fight. Yeah, just completely shutting down these tanks.
Baneling's rolling in.
Okay, some good splits. This actually is looking okay.
Yeah, this.
I think the next round of things popping. Well, I guess we've got 30 Lings are coming out. Only one Ultralisk and 3 Hydras in production, and if these Lings are picked off as they're coming, they're not able to kind of hit that critical mass. Perhaps Dust can recover here.
Yeah, he's rallying a recovery together.
We do have a backstab counterattack here by the Zerg player. Okay, well, never mind. It runs over and then decides to run home. This one tank sitting here at 2 HP is kind of triggering me. Oh no, friend, don't die.
It's still a sizable economic advantage for Beowulf, though. So, Dust, he needs more. That's a good start, but he needs more.
Yeah, and he hasn't been able to reestablish that wall at the south, or I guess the right side here of his, at his third base. So a run by could do huge amounts of damage. But he's going to pull the Zerg army back up to the top left, and he's going to shut down the base up here. So, I mean, he's doing what he needs to do. I don't know if Dust is aware. I'm going to take a look at the Dust cam. So he's aware that there's a hatchery starting down there. But the Banes and the Ultras are starting to catch the reinforcements, and they are going to run in. They see the wall is not constructed here, so they should be able to kill this third base here for Dust. And Terran, unfortunately, does not have the recall ability, so his army is going to have to schlep forward and try to just, like, make it into a base race.
I guess what he has for an army is what he's got. Like, he's not gonna get any stronger anytime soon. At least his production is preserved, so he can scrounge out a couple things, but that army's gonna come back for the wraparound.
Yeah, and the Ling's getting on top of the tanks. Now they're surrounding the bio. The bio is unloading in the main. But I think this might just be a little too late.
Yeah,
Load
it's
up.
just too much stuff. Parasitic Bomb going down on the medevacs, getting one of the full medevacs removed from the equation, and the bile is also lost. And Beelmo takes the first game.
Very well played by the Zerg pieces in this match.
Yeah.
Dust did a great job as well, right? He was doing the things that he needed to do to try to claw his way back in. But there were just a few too many fights where the Banes just connected and destroyed all of the bio, leaving the tanks to just get cleaned up by the Lings. So we will be hopping into game number 2 here.
And I'll be stepping out.
All right, so Xenodactyl will be the other player in this thing. So let me go ahead and hide that in that. Obviously, he's not allowed to stay in the call or anything while we are still streaming. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to get ready to hop into game number 2 here of this Alpha Team League. I just realized I have this closed, so haven't been able to catch too much of the chat. There is a slight delay of 2 minutes, so anything that you guys do say, I will not be able to respond to immediately anyway. And we're waiting for the next game to get created here. As I mentioned, this is a team league between Alpha X and JaMiT Gaming. The current score is 1-0 in favor of JaMiT, with Beowulf taking the first map off of Dust. That was Zen. So next we have Kerrigan versus Xenodactyl. We are climbing into that game now. So this is going to be a PVZ. I need to get the right players in there. There we go. Cool, 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 cool. All right. We should be starting very shortly here. I'm going to go ahead and get the lobby all set up, make sure the players are ready. Okay, and away we go. All right, so game number 1 goes in favor of JaMiT. Will Alpha X be able to take game number 2? Only time will tell. We'll have to see what Xenodactyl has in store for us here. But spawning in the bottom right-hand side of Simulacrum, it is our purple Zerg player representing JaMiT Gaming's. It is Kerrigan. In spawning in the top left, I think I said bottom right, in the top left here, your yellow Protoss player representing Alpha X, we have Xenodactyl, or Octodactyl. Alright, I think I know what's happening here. I recognize this placement, and I recognize the path of this probe. I think we're going to see a cannon rush here, friends. Sure enough, here's the forge. Probe making its way over, and I expect to see, yeah, he's going to go ahead, he's going to drop a pylon here. And then the game will be afoot. Now we do have pool first out of our Zerg player. So that means Xeno is going to go for the slightly farther back proxy. Now there are a couple different flavors of this kind of cannon rush, right? You can go for a two robo, like double robo, or he can go for more of a cannon gateway one robo style. So He scouts, okay, there's a hatch. There's not too much out here. And okay, the drone pull is coming out. Oh, Xenodactyl doesn't see it. He has to get this probe in position to protect. And he's going to have to run back here. Yeah, dropping the safety cannon in here. Probably will wall it in with Pylon. And he's going to start working away. Now, turns out if you zap drones a couple times, I think one time actually, then a cannon will be able to two-shot those drones. So this cannon will be able to do that, and it's exactly what he's doing. Boom, two-shot, two-shot. Nice. Canceling this Pylon, really great reactions here. Now, we don't see any gas here from our Protoss hero. A little surprising to me, but that does kind of indicate that he's going to go for a... oh no. Oh no, he made the core. Okay, he's coming back taking double gas here. Okay, realizing that he's a little bit gas starved. I think also wanting to make sure that he can hold this, right? Didn't want to waste any minerals early that he didn't have to. You know, if it was like, oh crap, he's doing a huge drone pull and he's making tunnelings, you know, this is like wasted money. So you want to be able to drop cannons and pylons at home. Looks like Care, again, is going to go for the spine bust. Now, what this means is, okay, well, kind of doing a couple things at once. It's going to be spines and ravs. He's got the double gas, so that's kind of indicating Ravagers. He is not going for speed on these lings. So we could also see a layer, but I'm imagining we're going to see a bunch of roaches, and then those roaches will turn into Ravagers. And these things will poke out together. We have one Stalker starting. I'd love to see some shield batteries coming out for our Protoss player. Okay, the Spine going to go ahead and move forward here. Okay, yeah, see, and this is exactly why. If we had this already finished, the Stalker could start poking forward, killing things. Nice pick off on that Creep Tumor. And a Robo coming down behind this as well. We have double gas out of the Protoss pieces. So this could mean continued Stalker production, or it could mean a second Robo sometime in the future. And it's going to be the second Robo option. Okay, so this does have a timing on it, right? He has to do damage with this and has to kill the opponent with it before the game goes on too long. There isn't a great transition off of this. He's got enough cannons. He can eat bioshots for a minute, and the Zerg player won't be able to bust him. I'd love for the Stalker to move forward just a hair and just get a shot or two off on these Ravagers as they're moving forward to Bio, right? If the Stalker was standing maybe here, it could be outside of range of the Spine, but still be able to attack these. Okay, we do have a cancel on a Pylon, I think it was. Ooh, so most of the shield battery energy is getting drained. Ravagers deciding to sacrifice some of their health there. We have the Immortal coming up, so this is the big power unit that is going to be the game changer. At home, all probe production has stopped. We have full saturation by our Protoss player, and all drone production has stopped as well. So with these two Stalkers, actually, we should see some kiting. One cannon will fall, but now we have the Immortal at the front. I'd like to see another Immortal, and then possibly a Prism starting up here as well. Great kiting here by Xenodactyl. They should be able to pick off this Spine. There it goes. Another Immortal is in the mix here. Ooh, pull this Stalker back, pull this Stalker back. Ooh. Okay, he's got to be very careful. This Stalker is like one Spine hit away. Ooh, it does fall. But the Immortals are the important thing now, right? We want to see Immortals and then possibly Prisms. One Prism is like the amount that you want. But these are, the Immortals are going to be able to do huge amounts of damage to these Ravagers. Two of the Spines have fallen at this point. Okay, we have two Immortals now, so he's going to be able to start walking forward. The one Stalker is going to fall. The Immortals, the shield's getting triggered. One Immortal still has its shield. We've got a fair number of minerals and gas here, so I'd like to see more production, constant production and chrono boosting of the Robos here from Xenodactyl. These three Immortals are going to be... Oh, come on, just kill it. Just kill it. Yeah, we do have... There we go. There we go. Okay, so Immortal's going to go ahead and pick that off and fall back. It's going to heal up. Ooh. Running towards this battery. If he'd gone to the right a little bit more, he would have had a little more energy here. Okay, now we finally see that Prism. Now the Prism is going to make juggling with these Immortals a lot easier. So you'll be able to poke forward and then pull back as the projectiles are in the air. So be very careful with this one immortal. This one immortal needs to fall back here. Okay, okay. Falling over there. All right. He's getting pushed quite far back here. And we need to see more batteries. More batteries, more immortals. I don't think this is the observer that we were looking for. We do have 3 immortals at this point here. Nice pick up there, preventing it from walking into the bile. We've got a lot of money here. Okay, and we're starting to see a couple more of these things. Now, the Zerk player here, if we look at the income, is on the same amount of income as the Protoss player. So he's got the second base. So he's got better saturation. He should be a little bit ahead in that front. The Immortals are such strong units. They're going to go ahead and just tear through these things. Nice cancel on that shield battery. But now we are completely out of shield batteries, and we are supply blocked and unblocked. Okay, the Immortal count is up to 4 Immortals now. There's a huge number of Immortals. They can start just plowing through some of these units and falling back here. Okay, there we go. Nice, nice. And I'd like to see this Prism start juggling these Immortals back. Oh, pick them up, pick them up, pick them up. As the projectiles are in the air, pick it up. There we go. Yeah. Just be very careful. Oh, losing that Immortal unnecessarily is a huge travesty. But he has killed almost all of the Ravagers at this point. 2 Immortals in play very shortly, and these batteries finishing up. This is starting to look very, very good for our Protoss player here. He's going to poke forward, pull back to those shield batteries. I'd like him to make a line and then just walk in and just kill these things, right? He's got 4 of these, and just start shooting. Yeah, there we go. Shell away, shell away. Start fighting, and at this point, he can totally just engage this army. He can use the Prism to pull the wounded Immortals back. Anytime the Zerg player overextends, he can just shut it down. Okay, Immortals coming forward, poking, pulling back, pulling back. Nice. Ooh, eating 1 bile here, but I think he's done it. He has broken here. We've got 5 Immortals and the Prism. And Xenodactyl picking up game number 2 for Alpha X. Very well played by our Protoss hero. We catch up on chat here. And let me hop back over to this call. We climb back in. All right, very well played, sir.
That was stressful.
Yeah, yeah. It looked really good. There were a couple moments there where you're floating a bit, but you pulled it out, and it was strong. Oh, that's not what we want at all. We want the camera of you, and then we want to hide this. Let me pop that out. And we'll reestablish this. So that does tie the series up here, bringing us to 1-1 in the series. Very well done, by the way. Adrenaline's still pulsing through your veins there a little bit. That's good. That's good.
All right. Looks like Devin's here, and who's his opponent? Okay. Trathras.
I'm just catching up on chat. Looks like there's a bot here that ended up getting banned, and then TJ was telling Captain Canuck to ban it, and then Captain Canuck accidentally banned TJ. It's a nice friendly banter here.
TJ is the bot.
Let me go ahead and climb in here. All right. We are climbing into change the privacy to no match history. Yeah. All right. So we are climbing into game number 3 of this best of 5. And I'm excited to see what Alpha X's Devin has in store. This is going to be a TVT between these two players. And let's see what happens here. Oh, orange and red.
I think this is worse than the
the green yellow, yeah.
yeah. And they're the same race too.
Yep. All right. Well, would you like to kick it off and introduce our first player here?
Sure. Spawning in the upper left as the orange Terran. From CT6, it is JaMiT's Vespian.
And in the bottom right, representing Alpha X, it is your very own Red Terran, Devin.
All right. So, I don't know this history from a first-hand experience, but my understanding is, once upon a time, Chobo Team League was like more like a draft-based system, and clans would form, disband, and form according to said system. And CT6 is one of those former setups from back in the day, or at least there was a component of that.
Yeah.
And anyhow, so like Vespian and Ray are the only ones that I ever really see from that era. But it's so funny to
see the tag still.
Yeah. It's like retro and like, I don't know, says something about how long they've been playing.
Yeah, for sure. I think these two players seem to know each other well. I don't know if it's from that area, but just the banter at the beginning, you know, the good luck, have fun, gorgeous, you too, thanks, sugar, you know, I think they are comfortable and probably play each other quite regularly in, you know, maybe the Chobo Team League as well as here in the Alpha X Team League, so.
Sure. SCV still scouting for proxy starport, I guess, since he saw everything else.
Yeah, and that's actually something interesting to note. I think Devin definitely opened up, and instead of just going straight across the map like Vespian, you know, he sent this SCV down and to the left. So I think he's expecting some sort of cheeky play out of his opponent. But so far, the cheeky play is just the 2 factories inside the main.
Oh, that is unusual in and of itself.
Yeah.
Is this Mass Cyclone or something? That would be really retro. I don't think that works on this patch anymore. No. Wait,
well,
what?
He started a tank and then canceled it. We do have an armory, so it is going to be, you know, some sort of play here, or some sort of Thor.
Okay, then.
Interesting. Double Thor?
I feel like he's supposed to get a starport then.
For the medevac to kind of pick him up?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens here. This Reaper getting shoot out by the Marines. Now, that in and of itself, seeing the 3 Marines tells you something, right? You got to be thinking, okay, where's the gas? Like, what is the opponent doing? There we go. The second Thor finally starting up here. And these Thors are just rallying across the map.
I kind of want Devin to scan, but I don't know if he's... I don't feel like he's seen something that should cue a scan other than seeing 2 factories.
And yeah, and no CC on the low ground, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the interaction very well, but with the 1 siege tank on the high ground, this is a great position. I guess a scan would allow those Thors to look up and see it. Okay, this Reaper's gonna find everything in the... Oh no! I'm gonna switch over to the Devon cam. Oh, he doesn't see it. He sees the Marines, so he knows that there's a push coming. But so far, it just looks like he sees Marines.
like
Okay,
this.
there it is.
There he goes. Like he was really good about keeping that Reaper alive so that he could like actually see the entirety of the push and have a clear understanding of what was coming. Now he positions his SCVs preemptively for the repair on the bunkers. His third tank is on the high ground, and he's gonna pull the boys to help with the repair.
Yeah, mass repair. I think that's exactly what needs to happen here. There is a Liberator, but you know, Thors do pretty good when they're looking up. Okay, but the mass repair on Liberator is going to help with that. Okay, he's gonna have to relocate. Great job repairing there. Okay. Well, so far this hold is looking okay for... Okay, running the... Ooh, I think a little bit premature running those things out. He's going to move some of these
There's a follow-up
C6
tank behind all of this.
Yeah.
And that's going to complicate the issue. As it can shell at the bunker, which will splash the SCVs.
that are repairing.
Moving the tanks down. Okay.
Now, we should point out that at this point, it is 1 base to 2 base, right? So, okay, here we go. All the boys getting, well, not all the boys, some of them getting pulled to repair these Thors. This is a very interesting fight that we have on our hands here. Okay, nice shot by those siege tanks, taking out most of those SCVs that we're repairing, actually. I think with the Liberator moving forward, as long as he does a good job of repairing it, should be in an okay position.
The repair cost is draining his minerals for production, so...
You know, at this point, I would like to see the tanks just unsiege and just run forward and just attack those Thors, right? I mean, there's, like honestly, like those Thors are, you know, a couple shots away from some death.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he's repelled the attack for now. It's gonna take Vespian some time to...
No, we got a string of SCVs running across the map. I think this is gonna be the last ditch effort. So
up the repair time.
This is going to be held or not, one way or the other, very soon here. I like that he's moving these tanks forward so that he's got kind of like the edge of the high ground here, right? There's nowhere where the Thors
with that tank that we have seen from Vespine already. Devon can like say to himself, okay, I need to hold a little bit farther out now. Oh, nice first shot on these SCVs.
Nice. And Devon picking up the game. That did look kind of scary for a minute there. The double Thors when they walked across the map, but Devon having the perfect response, making sure to get the tanks where he needed to, repairing the bunkers, getting the Liberator out, repairing it. Well played.
What a unique game.
What's that?
What a unique game.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one before. I feel like they're like executed slightly differently. I think that could be really big, especially if you get that like the medevac that you were mentioning, right? Because you can just like pick up like the Thor and move it to the high ground or something, right? There's something there that was scarier. At first I was like, this can't be a thing, and then I was like, okay, well, maybe. Right, we are going to be climbing into the game number 4 here soon, I believe. There we go. Got one player in the party. This next game is going to be on Purity and Industry, and it's going to be a Terran versus, I actually don't know what race. Trethris? Trethris. That's how you say it, right? Trethris?
I think so.
At first my mind wants to read it as Tetris. Like I just want to read it like that, but all right. So it looks like it is going to be a PVT.
Yeah, I think he plays multiple races, so... in any case.
All right, so it looks like we should be starting shortly here. I I just realized if I minimize your video window, it freezes on the last image. And I like had alt tabbed and it was like you and like a really interesting like you're like squinting. So I apologize for giving you a sort of a funky face there for a moment. Because yeah, you're up and then I like alt tabbed and it minimized your window.
I see.
Interesting interactions between the software.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, this is really interesting. It actually, you can like, based on where, I'm gonna have to play with this more. You can like freeze the frame halfway. Try moving your head to the left a little bit. Okay, now move back to the right. All right, so now in 2 minutes, look at the stream and kind of check it. Why does it do that? All right, anyway.
I will certainly forget in 2 minutes.
Yeah, no, I don't think you should be doing that. In fact, here, let me pull this back up here.
But I am seeing the freeze on this stream from before, and
yeah, interesting interactions between Discord and OBS. Anyway, the important thing here, the thing that all of you are here for, is the StarCraft, not us doing weird explorations. And the StarCraft has arrived. We have a TVP on our hands on Purity in Industry.
And spawning to the right side of the map as the green Protoss for JaMiT. It is Trethris.
And in the top center, your orange Terran player. Representing Alpha X, it is the Detweiler.
What side did the Protoss spawn on last time we
It was I think that this morning it was the same, but it's interesting. The law of averages is averaging out. The first, I don't know, dozen times, maybe I think the first 8 times that I casted PVTs on this map, the Terran always spawned on the Terran like industry side, right? You can see these like wraith icons. You can see the missile systems that are squares. The Protoss spawned up here on the Purity side where they have like the circle things. Oh, I need to set myself to away. Apparently I am not, and I just got a message from someone else on the team.
oh look, double gas.
Yeah, double gas out of our Protoss player before Nexus, so I think we're going to see something a little funny here.
Yeah, this probe should have crossed the map already, though, if he was going to proxy with it.
Yeah, unless he's going to go for like a fast starport, or excuse me, Stargate or something.
Well,
and just use the airspace. I think we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't feel like this is a like optimized build that you see at the GM level. More like this is what Trethris does type thing.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of gas here. Warp gate starting. 2 stalkers coming out here, both getting chrono boosted. And there's a robo. Okay.
Okay, I guess he could open Prism and drop a pair of gateways in a moment, pick up the 4 stalkers and fly across. That would be something.
Yeah, I think the second early gas is just to allow him to get both of those stalkers, the robo and the warp gate.
Sure.
But this is definitely a 1 base push, right? There's no Nexus in sight. And it'll all come down to whether or not TJ can hold this, right? He's got a bunker here. His factory is finishing up. I'd like to see some siege tanks maybe, and a Reaper's going to come in here. It is going to scout the fast robo. It sees both of the gateways. Okay, well, we have a shield battery now. Interesting. So the reason I find the shield battery puzzling is he's got 4 stalkers, right? So what is he afraid of? Maybe TJ has been doing some sort of, or excuse me, the Detweiler has been doing some sort of push And Threthris is like ready for it.
I don't think so. I think it's just he has extra minerals and wanted a shield battery. I feel like it would be better served in his mineral line, but it's fine where it is, I guess.
Observer follow up here. Okay, these 4 suckers are going to be able to do some damage here. 4 suckers is the number that you need to one-shot SCVs.
Yeah, the Immortal does give him some potential to break the bunker, I guess, but with the tank there, I don't think that's going to be very realistic. He does force some repair on the low ground CC, but that's inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, I think.
Yeah. Interesting. Alright, well, we'll have to see where this goes from here. Okay, he's just going to run in. He's tanking the shots. He is able to kill the tank here. With the Immortal, no. Mass repair, too strong. Not going to be able to break that bunker. Good hold here by TJ. Or by the Detweiler. Another tank is about to pop here. He does force the lift. But with the tanks coming out, I don't know if this is really going to be able to do too much. We don't see the other Nexus quite yet. Prism
I kind of want him to float his natural to the island just because he can.
I mean...
and he doesn't need to hold it here right now.
I mean, that is true. There is a Prism coming out. Okay,
he wouldn't be able to actually use his SCVs if he did that, so...
Yeah, it would be like...
There is an advantage to holding this position.
Yeah. It'd be entirely mined from mules.
Right.
Okay, so with this Prism, we actually see a little bit of, scarcity. Okay, we do have, a lot of units running into these Marines. SCV's mass repairing, though, doing a great job of keeping the important units alive. Prism joining up the army. I thought he might try to go into the main. There is a bunker here in the main. I think...
yeah, but the bunker doesn't actually cover the elevator point, so if he wants to take everything and elevator up, that would be a good play from Threthris. It doesn't look like he's thinking about that, and he doesn't know that there aren't, like, I don't know, 5 Marines ready to snipe his Prism over there. So he's just going to expand, and I don't feel like this is going to garner anything for him.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the worker count... the Detweiler's up 45 to 22. His army is bigger than Trethris's. This is looking very scary for the Protoss player. Viking coming over here, doing some scouting. Now, what would be going through my mind, he does see, the Detweiler did see this Nexus fall, right? He had an SCV over here. So that's good. I would still be kind of wondering and worried, like, okay, did he take the gold or something? Like, how is he going to come back, right? We've got a Banshee coming in here to do some damage. And the Observer was sniped earlier, actually. So, if we look, we don't have Cloak anyway, so I take that back.
The landed Viking adding its DPS as well, so the Immortal coming back is something. Sort of.
But Trethris is
back. It pushes it back a half second sooner.
Yeah, but Trethris is back down to 16 workers, right? To the 55 of the Detweiler.
Oh my. He has a Stargate.
Yeah. That's structure that he can't really afford to produce from. He's got 1 on each gas in the main. He does have a Void that he's sending over here, but again, the Detweiler has a missile turret in the mineral line. He'll be able to pick off some of these supply depots. There's actually a juicy supply depot back here as well. Could go for the +1 attack. But he's actually pulling the Void home, yeah. Which I think is a wise choice, right? Like, looking at this big push that's coming across the map.
I mean, I don't think the Void is actually going to help him hold, though. Like, I don't see what scenario he holds this. Maybe Force Field.
He needed to be kiting this back with the Stalkers, right? He needed to thin the Marine count much earlier.
Okay, that's something. I mean, I guess if the Detweiler just doesn't attack, then he'll...
Yeah?
Hold, air quotes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he doesn't know that there are no sentries with this, so if his army were to get cut in half, That would be very an unfortunate way to throw part of your lead. He wouldn't even be able to throw all of it. He'd just throw part of his army lead.
Yeah. Detweiler is gearing up to take his third. The command center just finished in the main. We should see it morphing into an orbital soon. Or loading up with some SCVs and floating to that island. But no, it is going to go down.
With the void rays out, he doesn't want to do that.
I agree with you. Would be pretty funny though.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. All right, Trethris is going to go along the bottom lane. The army is going to find it with no real support, so the Protoss has to retreat. Maybe?
Okay, stand bio coming up here.
This Terran force is a little disjointed.
Yeah, the tank's not fighting with the bio. Not quite what the Detweiler wanted to have happen. It was able to pick off a couple units there, though. But the income advantage is just so far in the Terran player's favor.
Yeah, I mean, it was functionally one base all in to start this, based on just how he opened when he took his natural. And it didn't get a whole lot done. I mean, he got a tank for it, and that's about the extent of it.
Yeah.
So now with his fantastic arc, he's gonna siege his tanks and his mines go off, everything just dies.
Yeah. GG, well played. And the Detweiler is gonna go ahead and close out the series here 3-1 against JaMiT Games.
Yep.
So, very well played by all of our players here. And I don't think we go on to, we don't play game 5, correct? So we end it there?
No, we did not.
All right, well, thank you all for, I guess we have to, oh, no, I can just end it and then, yeah, it'll end up coming through there. I guess we can't raid anyone for 2 minutes. Is there anyone online to raid? Anyway, let's go ahead and take a quick look here.
Nemesis is streaming twos, and that's all I see for